Hey everybody, it's Katie Harris, owner of Philly Wellness Center, and this is Beyond Mainstream Health. Today we're talking about how long does hair restoration take? So big question, and one of the most common questions that we get. So it depends on whether you're considering PRP, the derived with exosomes, medications, or even a hair transplant. So it's important to understand what timeline we're looking to expect. So let's break it down. So first, let's start off with the PRP. So PRP involves injecting your own platelet-rich plasma into the scalp to stimulate hair follicles. The treatment requires multiple sessions spread out over several months. So when can you expect to see results? Well, after your first PRP session, you may start to notice less shedding within 2 to 3 months. And then significant hair growth usually starts becoming visible at the 3 to 6 month mark. But the most noticeable results often appear around 6 to 12 months after your last session. So keep in mind, you may need maintenance treatments in between every 6 to 12 months to sustain those results. Now, the same can be said with our derived system, which uses plant-based exosomes and ultrasound instead of injectables. The same holds true here. So you will at first notice less shedding, and then you'll start seeing some hair growth at the 3 to 6 month mark, but also it still takes 6 months to a year to really see those results. And then finally, another option that's not one here, if you're eligible for it, testosterone is extremely powerful in hair growth. And it's a side effect, which can be great. It can also be a nuisance for people that aren't looking for hair growth, but it is amazing. Also, replacing thyroid, if that's an issue, thyroid and testosterone by themselves can cause hair growth if that is the underlying cause for the problem in the first place. And that's why you would need a medical evaluation prior to doing any hair loss regime, because we want to get you the best results. And this is the way to do it. So medications, what about the medications? So medications like Minoxidil or Finasteride, they can take a bit longer to show results, and these are things that you're going to use over time. With Minoxidil, you might start noticing hair growth around 3 to 6 months, just like PRP and exosomes and whatever else you're thinking of using, but it often takes about 12 months of consistent use. So you might experience a temporary increase of shedding in the first place, but that's normal. So don't worry about that too much, but it's stressful enough to have hair loss, and then you start a medication and more hair starts falling out. But that's expected. It's not uncommon, but it means the treatment is working because it's pushing out weak hairs to make room for stronger growth. So that's what you have to reassure yourself with. Finasteride, on the other hand, works by blocking DHT, the hormone responsible for hair loss. You may notice reduced hair thinning as early as 3 months, but significant hair regrowth usually happens at 6 months, 6 to 12 months of consistent use, and consistent is the strong word here. Also, when you're talking about DHT, make sure you check out your hair care products. So shampoos and conditioners often have parabens, phthalates, sulfates, alcohol, and pH levels that are not compatible with scalp health. And these can cause DHT to wreak more havoc than it would if you used shampoos that had saw palmetto in them. So definitely check out our video on DHT and hair loss to make sure you're doing all the right things there. Now, hair transplants, you'd like to think that as soon as you got a hair transplant that everything would be great. But again, if you're going for a hair transplant, this is a much more involved process, but offers long-lasting results. After the surgery, the transplanted hair follicles will fall out within the first few weeks, and that's totally normal. Again, I know that's it's really terrifying when you spend a lot of money and you go for a procedure and then your hair starts falling out even more. But that is a normal part of the process known as shedding, and it's expected, and your surgeon should tell you all about it. So new hair growth will start growing from the follicles around the 3 to 4 month mark. And typically your hairdresser will be able to notice that. If you're still going to the hairdresser, especially if you just have little bald spots, they'll be able to see the new hair growth, and you'll be able to feel them. It's kind of like a buzz. Like somebody that has a buzz cut, and you can feel the hairs starting to poke out, and that's really exciting. Full results typically take 12 to 18 months, especially for more extensive transplants. So after this, the results are generally permanent when you're talking about hair transplants, though some patients may opt for additional procedures to achieve even fuller coverage. Factors that can influence the results, it always depends, right? And the better health, the younger you are, the extent of the hair loss, all this stuff comes into play, and it's really, really important. So younger patients tend to have faster recovery and grow hair due to, they don't have as many hormone imbalances, nutritional deficiencies. That is changing rapidly in our culture, and our younger patients are not as healthy as they used to be. So conditions like autoimmune diseases or nutritional deficiencies definitely slow down the process. You have to have the right nutrients for healthy skin and nails and hair. And autoimmune conditions are most frequently inflammatory conditions, and they can come from the gut. They can be difficult to treat if you're not treating the gut at the same time. So it's something to consider. And how regularly you attend follow-up treatments or take medications plays a role in the speed of your results. There has to be consistent effort on your part to make this work, right? So if you need to shampoo with special DHT blocking shampoos, or use minoxidil super solution, or the different foams, you need to use them on a regular basis. You can't run out and then 3 months later you purchase it again. You have to have consistency with what you are doing. Regardless of which option you choose, it's important to have realistic expectations, because hair restoration is a gradual process. And I know that's really, really frustrating, but results will take time. And you have to, if you're starting today or you're thinking about this and you want to get started, set your expectations for how am I going to look different in 1 year, not next week, not after the first treatment, but in 1 year from now. With the right approach, whether it's PRP or exosomes or the laser that we use or medications, peptides, a hair transplant, you can expect noticeable improvements in just a few months. So there you have it. Hair restoration is a journey, and it will take time, but really is worth it.